doing those protection duties? And secondly, can you also tell us whether or not at this point any of the Guard members or any of the Marines have actually participated in any of the temporary detainment? Thank you.
Sure. Thanks. Good morning, Lita. So actually, two companies of 2-7 Marines actually moved to the Wilshire Federal Building in LA last night. They started what we call left seat, right seat leader familiarization training with the 79th IBCT soldiers that are there. They spent the night at that location. They will take over full operations today at noon at that location.
And on the second question, please.
My apologies, sir. We had a technical glitch there. Need you to unmute. My apologies.
Oh, sorry, Tecto. Lita, did you hear my question, my response?
I heard your response to the first part. I didn't hear your response.
Oh, okay. On the second spot, I'm sorry about that.
Right.
On the second part, we still, right now, as of today, we have had no soldier or Marine detain anyone. They have watched federal law enforcement arrest personnel as they were protecting. They have not had to detain anyone at this point.
Thank you.
Thank you. Reuters?
Just a clarification, how many Marines make up two companies? And then just to follow on the training you mentioned that they were receiving, has everyone gone through that training? And did that include any courses with JAGs about what they could and could not do legally?
Absolutely. So there are approximately 200 Marines that are at that location, two companies. Yes, they all, as part of our standing rules on the use of force with our JAGs, and certainly our JAGs with the Marine Judge Advocate General officers, did a complete comprehensive review of the standing rules of force for all soldiers and Marines that are doing this. Service members, they receive that training before they ever go on the mission. It includes de-escalation techniques and the proper use of crowd control.
Thank you, sir. KTLA? Moving on to KTTV. KCAL. KABC.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we've got you.
Okay, any idea, are these briefings going to go on every day? And also, secondly, with all the legal back and forth, has your mission changed in any way? Because the one judge ruled one way and appeals court changed it. Does that affect your deployment in any way?
Well, we don't make comments on pending litigation or anything on that. It's not my area. What I can say is we're continuing on with the mission until we receive orders from higher on how to continue.
And the second part, are you going to do these briefings daily for the foreseeable future? Do we know?
Yeah, as required. I'll take my guidance from OSD as they and Northcom as these, as it's a turn to do these news conferences. Thanks.
Thank you. CNN?
Hi there. I was just wondering, you said that the Marines are going to take over full operations there today at noon. Does that mean they're going to be taking over for the Guard troops there? Are they basically going to be rotating in and the Guard troops will rotate out? Or can you just talk a bit about how the Marines are going to be integrating or not with the Guard?
They're actually right now they're continuing left seat, right seat familiarization training to make sure they understand how the Guard did and really now that they're federalized, they're soldiers, active soldiers, how they're doing the defense of that installation. They are there They take over at about approximately noon today. That's a commander's decision on the ground, and they will be there protecting that facility.
And you said they haven't detained anyone yet. Have they had to de-escalate any situations? Have they basically had to use their training yet in any way? And I'm talking about the guard troops now.
Yeah, they've strictly used their civil disturbance equipment to really hold people away as the federal agents are doing their job. That's been it.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Stars and Stripes?
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, I wanted to know sort of a process question. Do the troops go up to the Armed Forces Reserve Center in Los Alamitos, where the 40th Division has its headquarters? Is that kind of the staging point before they go up to LA, or are the units coming directly to some other spot before being given their actual assignments?
Well, I'll say this. For the guard soldiers, they have mustered at their home armories. That's when they came on to Title 10 to get people in. Just due to OPSEC, I'm not going to comment on the locations where they are. But we're using numerous installations throughout the Los Angeles area.
I'm just trying to get at these troops are for the most part 40th Division authority
For the guard
for the
soldiers.
guard, yes, and
Yes.
and that in the past that's meant going to Los Alamitos before going to LA, but you're saying they've come directly from their armories to their current positions.
No, we've actually brought them into Los Angeles at certain areas that we have where we're staging soldiers and housing soldiers and move them from there. We've got to bring them here to make sure they've done all the correct training and they're fully trained before we get them out to guarding locations or to protecting the federal law enforcement as they do their job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Long Beach Post? Task and Purpose? NPR?
Hi there, this is Ravenna Koenig with NPR. I'm wondering if you can share anything about the specific missions that troops have been supporting DHS on. I think you mentioned there were 26.
Right. I'm not going to get into specifics just for operational security. I will give you generalities. I would say a handful are protecting installations, federal property, federal assets, which is one mission. And then the rest have been missions that we've actually received missions from federal law enforcement where we've linked up with them, done rehearsals, make sure we understand everything that goes on, and that really there to protect them and hold off crowds as they perform their federal law enforcement duties.
Thank you, sir. We'll go to NBC National.
Hey, it's Courtney Kuby. General, thank you so much for doing this and being willing to speak to the media and give us some information about this. It's something that we don't get a lot of lately.
Yes,
Two very quick questions. Are the Marines going to be, and forgive me if you said this, I missed the very top, are the Marines going to be armed with firearms and will they have live rounds in them? And then are there any, have any uniformed service members been injured at all since the task force stood up?
So all military members are mobilized with their assigned weapon. They have standard crowd control gear, which includes a helmet, their face shield, a shield, baton, and gas mask. That's what they have for that. That's what they do. It's strictly that's for crowd control to make sure they're guarding the facility. What was the second question again? I'm sorry.
Just if there have been any injuries of National Guard, I guess probably not Marines.
There have not been any injuries as of today, right now.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Task and Purpose, Nicholas, I see your question in the chat. So, sir, I'll read that, and this will be our last question for today. Where else in Los Angeles County Will Marines be deployed going forward?
So we're going to actually have, well, I'm not going to speculate on future operations. What I will say is the United States Marine Corps, as you know, is they're the ones who guard our embassies worldwide, and they are certainly trained on how to defend a federal building. And that's the missions that we've really focused on them to do. And that's what they will be doing here. They've already started with the Wilshire building today, and we will progress from there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. That is all the time we have for today. We understand.
Can military.com get a question?
We understand that additional outlets may have questions that we didn't get to today. We encourage you to reach out to U.S. Army North, U.S. Northcom, or OSDPA. I've put the OSDPA duty officer email in the chat, and we can get to your questions accordingly. Thank you so much, General Sherman, for your time and expertise, and to all of you reporters for taking the time out of your day today to talk about Task Force 51 operations and the DoD Federal Protection Mission. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.